All right. Know what's going on with my camera. I don't know what's going on with my joint. I don't know what's going on, but we gonna deal with it the way we deal with it. We gonna go through, man. We gotta talk today. We gotta talk today. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Trying to be slick. We gotta talk today, ladies and gentlemen. We need to have us a conversation. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it with my own two. Let's get into this. First things first. Welcome to CNN. I'm Kirk Kennedy. Let's go in. On this channel, we take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. If you are of the Christian tradition such as I am, if you're a believer, follower of the way, all of that, look at this thing. Why are you doing this, man? Stop doing this, man. Cut it out, man. What are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? This thing is, what are we doing right now, fam? What are we doing? What are we doing? Let me just do this. What are we doing, fam? All right, if you're following the way, we want to remember the future. The day of the Lord is approaching. We want to remember right there. All right. And we are on the road to 5K. Let's get there. Thank you for the new subscribers that are coming. We're trying to get to 5K, but let's just shoot for 3,500 right now. Let's get to 35. Let's get to 35 by July 4th. Let's get it. Let's go. All right. Let's have the conversation. First of all, I'm doing a stream tomorrow. This is going to be probably one of the most important joints I do, and it's probably going to make a few people mad, but it's not my intent. But because we live in we are the United Sissies of America these days, and people are quite easily offended, I'm sure that some people will take offense. But I want to bring up a true point. So tomorrow I'm doing a stream at 6:45 p.m. And I want you to watch it to hear what I'm going to say. But it's basically called Are Christian Nationalists, Anti-Woke, Anti-White Supremacists, Professing Christians, are they going to hell? Are they? Come tomorrow and let's talk about it. Jesus said one thing that I think people are in danger. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Today, we're going to talk about something else that Jesus did. Jesus helped Caitlin Clark beat Phoenix. Now, I did a stream 2 days ago, right? And I said, I think that Phoenix is going to win. I thought, Indiana Fever is not a good basketball team. They've put together some good games, but I said they're probably going to get smacked. I mean, you got Taurasi is the GOAT. You got Brittany Griner or Bob Griner. I don't know what's going on over there. And then you got Kyle Cooper, who's balling, averaging 22.7 a game. I just thought they couldn't stop Jewel. They couldn't stop Jewel from Seattle. I was like, they're not going to be able to stop Kyle Cooper. So I just thought, all right, they're going to win. But what I wanted was Caitlin to have a good game. I wanted her to have a good game. And the reason why I wanted her to have a good game is because of what we all know. Her entry. I brought this up a little bit ago, but we're going to prove this right now. Her entryway into the league, I think, was hindered by something Diana Taurasi did, what she said. I think it was hindered by this comment we're going to look at in 1 second, right? Before Caitlin Clark even got to the WNBA, you had what most people would say is arguably the current GOAT, although I think that's a statement given to her 20-year career as a baller. If we're looking at who's actually playing like the GOAT, I think you got to go to Aja Wilson, maybe even Stewie from the New York Liberty. I mean, they're 16-3 right now. They're looking pretty unbeatable. I mean, they got 3 losses, but they're looking tough. But right now, most people will call Diana Taurasi the GOAT. Well, remember, everyone knows this because in the anticipation of Caitlin Clark going to the W, there was at the in the game against UConn, Scott Van Pelt from ESPN was interviewing Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, and let's go to the tape. Let's go to the video. Here's what Taurasi said. All right, remember this. Here's what she said. See if I can make this a little bit bigger. Let's go. Let me see where we at. All right, here we go.
There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
All right. Now, the majority of people reacted to that video and said that she was hating. All right. They said that Diana Taurasi was hating, and that was what was coming in to the season, right? Caitlin Clark is drafted, and everyone's thinking she's not going to have that problem. But Taurasi wasn't lying. There is a transition. And if you really look at this quote again, after now having watched Caitlin Clark and other rookies play, you realize, yeah, there is it's just life. She wasn't saying anything wrong, but in the moment, a lot of people thought she's hating on the rookie because Caitlin Clark was the talk of women's basketball, and people like Taurasi, who have put in a ton of work, just aren't the talk of it as much as they used to be. But no one has been the talk of it in the same way Caitlin Clark has. Maybe within the female basketball realm, but not enough to make the world stop and watch, right? Like Caitlin Clark has made the world stop and pay attention, whether you like it or not. So everyone said she was hating, and then the season hit, and then reality came into play. And it was like, wow, Caitlin Clark is still a baller, but there's a lot of levels to this. And I think Taurasi said there's levels to this. I don't think people were thinking through. They thought, oh, these players are just hating, but there's levels to playing with a group of women that you haven't played with for the last 4 years, like Iowa, playing with a new coach who has to figure out who's a new coach herself, right? Playing in there's a lot to this. But that comment, as I said in the previous stream, I think that comment by Diana Taurasi, because of her stature in the game, I think a lot of people took it as we're going after Caitlin Clark. Now, most rookies, people go after. That's just a given. But we've all seen already that it's a little bit different for her. This Caitlin Clark is drawing attention, right? So you get those comments after the Final Four, and that once Taurasi said that, and in hindsight, it wasn't that bad, but at the moment, everyone was like, oh, she's hating. Everyone could not wait until Phoenix and Indiana met. You wanted to see that, and they did that. They met this past Sunday, and they billed it as the GOAT versus the Rook. I thought that was, listen, you got to give the women's basketball their credit right now. They are enjoying what's happening. They're getting some due finally, and they're building it up. I mean, they call it the GOAT versus the Rook. A lot of people couldn't wait to see this game, and I remember thinking, hey, I think they're going to get smacked. Indiana, they just lost right before that to Seattle. They got toasted, right? So I was like, they're not going to beat Phoenix, even though Seattle has a better record than Phoenix. I just thought they're just not going to beat them. Brittany Griner's too strong. Taurasi is Taurasi, and then you got Kai Cooper, who's just balling. She's almost 23 points a game right now. I was like, they ain't going to have an answer for them. I don't know anybody that plays defense good on their team, right? So I said I couldn't wait, but I wanted Caitlin to drop a couple of big threes in the mouth. Well, we watched the game, and I was watching, and as the clock, right, the game's not over until there are 4 zeros, right? When the 4 zeros hit and Indiana won, it was clear to me that Jesus helped Caitlin Clark win the game, right? And I think mainly because of this reason. Let me tell you why. This is what I think happened. Jesus said these words one time: the greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Now, I got to be honest. I think Diana Taurasi is the type of player that talks a lot of trash, and even in the game, at one point early in the game, I think I forgot who was Gardner. It was I think it was Katie Wallace or something. She just scored on her easily, and she was jumping and getting in her face like, "What you?" So I was like, "Wow!" And when you watch the game, I'm sure many of you who are watching this stream now or later watch the game. There was a lot of aggression. Like Kyle Cooper was just almost like she's guarding Caitlin Clark. Like every time she did something or she stopped the play, she was like, "What? She ain't." I mean, and don't get me wrong, I like that competitive. Like I'm a guy. Guys just like most guys like competitive nature. I like it. We're not used to seeing women be like, "What? What?" But we watched it, and then it was just a lot of aggression. Now the beginning of the game, it was hugs. It was hugs and love. You saw Taurasi hug her. You saw Brittany Griner hug her and hold her for a second and say something to Caitlin Clark. And that's what everyone was looking for. Everyone's looking for that, right? But there was a lot of aggression. At one point, Natasha Cross was just, I was just like, and I remember, I'm going to be honest. When I was watching the game, I thought, see, this is partly why people struggle with watching the WNBA, right? Don't get me wrong, there's fights with guy games too, but I think because the WNBA also is connected to a particular sexuality, like not the whole league, but I mean, just got to be honest, there's a particular overt sexuality that's there. And so the average person, like if you're a dad watching with his daughter, and let's just say you don't have that sexual preference for your children and you're watching that, you're going to look at that and be like, see, this is why I don't want them to see this, because you're assuming that these people, that I just thought it was a little bit more aggressive than it needed to be. And it felt like we're going to shut Caitlin Clark down. Let's keep it real. That's been happening every time she plays. Every time she plays, people want to shut her down. And so as I'm watching this, and then I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, they're getting smacked. Then all of a sudden in the third quarter, they start coming back. I was like, hold on, let me see what's going on. All of a sudden, they're coming back. All of a sudden, they got the lead. They're up 2, and they're up 4. I'm like, what is going on? And during that stretch, Caitlin's balling. Hit a logo 3, had assists, crazy. So I'm watching this, and then when it was over, I was like, wow. Diana Taurasi and Phoenix were humbled. They were humbled. I think they've been exalting themselves. And I get it. When you're a veteran and the rooks come in, you're like, whatever. And then, especially when they're coming in with all this hype. And I think Taurasi was right. She's like, look, you're playing against grown women, not these 18-year-old girls that think that you're a superstar. But she did say, but look, she's great, and that greatness is going to translate. She did say that. I think a lot of people forgot that initially. They acted like she stopped that. You've been playing against these 18s and you look incredible, but not when you're playing against grown women. But she said no, but there's going to be a transition. There's going to be and it is. That's anything. Any new job you get, it's a learning curve. It's a transition. You're coming from one field to, it's a transition. That happens, right? So Caitlin Clark did not have a great game, honestly, which is funny. This is the thing that's wild to me, right? She was 4 for 14 from shooting. That's not good. She wasn't. I think she was like 2 for 10 from 3. It wasn't good. But she still ended up with 15 points, 12 assists, and 9. She was 1 rebound away from the first triple-double. I think that was of a rookie for sure, but it was a crazy stat, like 1 rebound away. First of all, how is she getting rebounds when you got Brittany Griner, Timmy Fagbenle, you got Aaliyah Boston, you got Alyssa Smith, you got, how is she even getting? I'm shocked. People are like, oh my gosh, she can pass. Why is no one talking about her getting 9, 8, 10 times 7, 8, 9, 10 rebounds? Like, that's incredible to me. How is she getting rebounds, right? And she gets rebounds and pushes the ball up. And then all of this, we found out later, was done with a migraine. She had a migraine headache. Now, I've never had a migraine. I've had serious headaches before. But I have friends who have migraines. And everyone I know that has migraines, they say stuff like, man, like a buddy of mine was like, bro, they're like this distant thing that you just think it gets close, like you see it coming. And he said, if I don't go to sleep when I sense it coming, once it's too late. And he said that joint just crushes you. Like this girl was playing, if they're right, she was playing with a migraine and still dropped 15 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. It wasn't even a great game. There were times she was almost triple teamed in the game. And so how they lost was, which I thought connects to Jesus helping, was of all people, what made them lose the game. I mean, there's a number of things, but the play that really was like, all right, it's over, was when Natasha Cross accidentally kicked the ball. She kicked it to Erica Wheeler, right? She kicks it to Erica Wheeler, and then that's it. At that point, they're down 5, and it's like it's too late. It's done. There's no way now. And I thought, of all people to kick the basketball accidentally, it flew right into Erica Wheeler's hands. I was like, that's it. It's a wrap. And then that was the game, and everyone was blown away, praising Caitlin Clark, all this stuff. She didn't have she didn't have a great game in terms of her shooting, but you end up with, this is the thing though. You didn't have a great game. You shot 4 for 14, but you ended up with 15 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. So 12 assists, think about this, 12 assists. 12 assists means that at the very minimum, 24 of your team's points came because of your passes. Minimum. Because if they were all 2 points, all layups, that's 2 points, 24 points. But some of them may have been 3-point shots, which we know. Some of them were Kelsey Mitchell hit threes, and some of them may have been and ones. They got made a so, but 20 at least, we know at least bare minimum, 24 of her points, of the team's points came from her hands somehow. Bare minimum. We know it was more than that. That's crazy. With a migraine, with people with all the attention on you, right? I thought it was fantastic. I'm glad they won for their sake, but I'm glad they won because as a believer, I like to see when things work in the world like humility works. I like to see when things happen, even if the people aren't believers, the Lord still works. He's still sovereign over the world just because people don't believe in him. The Jesus isn't real if you believe in him. He's real because he's real. If you believe in him, it's beneficial for you. It's not like, oh, I don't care about your stupid Christian. Cool. He's still real. Just like, I know people are like, well, the earth is flat. Fine. Go jump off the side of it when you find it. I don't agree with you. If you think, well, I don't think gravity, okay, jump off that 5-story building and then you'll find out very quickly. Truth isn't true because you believe it. You believe it because it's true, right? So just because these people aren't Christians, maybe not, doesn't mean that the things that the Bible teaches don't say the same thing, right? So here it is. Whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled. I think most people would say, watching it, whether they believe in anything or not, Diana Taurasi got humbled by the Rook. The GOAT humbled the Rook. Some people are calling it a passing of the baton. And largely because of her post-game comments, which we'll get to in a second. What I want to talk about now is, why is she getting so many assists? This is what I watch a lot of videos, period. But I usually, if I know I'm going to do a video on like the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, I'll see what other YouTubers are saying, how they're going about it. But I don't hear anyone answering this question. Why is she getting so many assists? Now, here's what's interesting. When she was coming into the league, they asked her, what do you think about your game that's going to translate this and the third, right? And she said, well, she was saying, I'm a good passer. Like, I don't think people like appreciate my passing and all that. And I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't remember, because I was so used to her shooting deep threes. I didn't really remember that she's a good passer. I mean, I'm sure I saw some good passes, but when you think of Caitlin Clark, at least coming out of college, you think, man, she's low. She pulls a 3 deep. It's incredible how she shoots, right? And even in the game, she hit 2 deep ones. It wasn't like, because there were other people that hit threes, but like she's coming behind. I think it was Aaliyah Boston. And then one time she crosses over to her left. Aaliyah Boston is coming up top of the screen, and she just smacks it. Blow. I mean, we might actually look at that. But no one is saying why she's getting so many assists. And I want to direct this to the people who are really Caitlin Clark haters, who think that if you're not a hater, then you're like a worshiper. Like, a lot of people just enjoy watching her play, and it has nothing to do with her color. I've been in the comments section, and people are like, in my last video, people are like, yeah, keep on acting like somebody said, yeah, people forget that people are saying this, that she is only known, they didn't hear about her until Angel Reese did that thing. I was like, fam, she broke the NCAA all-time scoring record. Angel Reese wasn't doing the ring thing and doing this until she beat South Carolina 36-0. Just because you hadn't heard of her yet doesn't mean the rest of us hadn't. We were watching her for way before then. And then the basketball, the tournament is always like probably the greatest sporting event ever. The NCAA tournament is just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous sporting event, right? There's nothing like it. So people act like, oh, if Angel Reese hadn't done that, no one would be hearing about Caitlin Clark. That's why I think when you talk about, I'm not saying that didn't propel her in, but that was 2 years ago. Do you know most people do not think about Caitlin Clark and that Angel Reese thing? Most people don't think about that. Maybe the media will show that video, but like most people think, man, she can shoot the lights out. She's logo 3. Not many people think Caitlin Clark's fame came from Angel Reese. Only Angel Reese seems to think that, and then other people who think Caitlin Clark's fame is largely a race issue. And then because she hasn't won championships, so what, fam? Like, there's a lot of people who didn't win. Larry Bird didn't win a championship in college. He was one of the greatest players of all time. There's a ton of people who don't win championships that are amazing players. Like these, it's just fascinating that you got to stick with the narrative. Like here's at the end of the day, this is the reality. People like the way Caitlin Clark broke the scoring record, white, black, whatever. That's a crazy feat. That joint, you beat Pistol Pete's record. That joint over 3,000 something points. That's a crazy. And she did it, I think, in 4 years. You know, in women's game, they can stay 5, sometimes 6 years. She did it in 4 years, I think, if I'm not mistaken. She beat the record. That's a crazy. Think about that. Over 3,000 points in roughly maybe 100 games. You know, you pay 25, 30 games. No, maybe about 130, 40 games. She was balling. She was balling. That's why people like her. I don't think people think, oh, if it was only the people who think it's a race issue think that if Angel Reese hadn't done that, we wouldn't hear about Caitlin Clark. What are you talking about? She beat the 36-0. That's the only reason why Angel Reese reacted that way, because no one thought Iowa was going to beat the South Carolina. They were 36-0 2 years ago in the Final Four when little Iowa beat them. They were the juggernaut. No one thought they were losing. And so, you know, and they played their heart out. By the time they played LSU, they had probably played so hard to beat South Carolina that they didn't have all the juice for LSU, which is they were already tired. So all this stuff, that was all Angel Reese being upset. But notice she didn't do that till the very end when it was clear. She wasn't taunting Caitlin Clark like that all game. It was when, okay, you're going to lose. Now we're going to taunt you, right? So I just think I still think the whole race thing, I think is just dumb. I get why people say it, but we need to say it. You need to have a racial component because it makes it more compelling to make it the Great White Hope versus. But what I loved about this Phoenix game was it was the GOAT versus the Rook. It had nothing to do with ethnicity, had nothing to do with sexuality. It was just like, here's the person who's been playing for 20 years that Caitlin Clark admired, and here's the new phenom that everyone thinks may be the GOAT 20 years from now, whatever, right? I loved it. But let me say, why is she getting so many assists? Why is she getting so many assists, right? Here's why. And we're going to look at a little bit of footage in a second. This guy did a good video. He showed some footage. I thought this is a good video. Here's why she's getting so many assists. The reason why, and this is because teams are so afraid of her scoring that they don't even pay attention to her teammates that are cutting. I'm going to prove this to you in a second. I'm going to watch. There was a guy who did a video that I thought he broke it down, and I was like, yep, he didn't say exactly what I said, but I think all this talk about, yeah, she's not that good and all that, man, these players, the coach for Phoenix said they were even triple teaming her, and they couldn't do it. They are so afraid of this girl because they know if she heats up, that's it. She may be, I'm sure there are other players, but right now, Caitlin Clark may be the only player that can make your fans her fans. She goes to the game. When she hits threes, it ain't like nobody's booing. Ooh, no. They're cheering for this girl. They said she got a standing ovation walking off the court. Standing ovation. Couldn't believe it. Standing ovation walking off the court. Could not believe that. in someone else's gym. That's not her first time playing in Phoenix, right? She gets so many assists because defenses, when she's bringing the ball up, they're so, I mean, you'll have, I'm going to show you this in a second. You'll have 2-3 players watching what she's doing, not even realizing that the person you're guarding is running behind you, and then she, boom, throws the ball right to him. Score, boom, layup. They can't believe it. It's like they got to, oh my gosh, they got to remember, oh, we got to guard this person too. You know? It's like, what are you talking about? It was like, oh, we got to, that's what happened. This is incredible. You don't see this a lot. So for all the people that think, oh, you guys are just sweating her, that's not what it is. It's the teams are sweating her. It's not us. We're commenting on what we're seeing, but the people that are sweating Caitlin Clark are her opponents. They're the opposing coaches. They're so terrified of her scoring ability, and that's due to a respect. Yeah, she may be the rook, but they respect her enough to switch people out on her. They respect her enough that people will shoot foul shots and get off and walk right over to her and forget they got one more foul shot to hit. I mean, so obvious, right? They respect her enough that they don't even pay attention to Aaliyah Boston and other people cutting because she's coming across half court and they're trying to make sure that she doesn't go left. They're ready to react if she goes left because they know she pulls the three off the left. So they're watching so they can switch off and go get her, and they're not even seeing the players, and so she's just dropping buckets. Now, I'm not saying all of her assists are due to that, but what you're going to see in a second, some of the assists are just due to the fact that they have great respect for her. They have respect for her, and so does Taurasi. So does Taurasi. All the talk before, and even right before the game, she got interviewed, and they were like, so yeah, you're playing, Caitlin Clark and tomorrow. How you think it's going? She goes, oh, it's going to be fun. And she looks over like she's doesn't even care, So you could tell they've been waiting for this game. But here's what I thought was amazing. Here's what I thought was amazing. Taurasi's post-game comments, I think, may change things for Caitlin Clark. Let's watch her post-game comments for a second. Listen to what she says here. I thought this was amazing. Listen to what she said right here. I thought this was real, all right? So a reporter's going to ask a question, and then we'll hear it, all right? Check this out.
She asked, you want to ask a question in English?
Yes. My question to her was that
So you could get the question.
previously to the game, she had expressed how she admired Diana in basketball and coming up as a new player, how I'm trying to translate from English from Spanish to English, sorry. And seeing Diana's evolution in play, what goes through Diana's mind when she hears that?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable. And the one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, throughout, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her. And, she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright. And, being a veteran and being in this league for a long, long time, it's pretty cool to see that and, going into the future.
Diana, you guys talked about, getting off to a fast start today, but the third quarter, like you talked about, they got after that big run, but the way you guys responded and then took that lead, obviously I know it shows confidence, what does that say to you guys in coming back and cutting the lead really small going into the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think we just have to find that consistency over 40 minutes. I mean, we showed we could play at a high level, and then
Here you got Taurasi. These comments sound a lot different than what people thought she was saying to Scott Van Pelt a couple months ago, right? She's acknowledging, one, she's a great player. Two, she knows the game. Three, but then the most important thing that I think she said at the end was that as a veteran, it's nice to see. Well, she said two things that I think are important. One, she's acknowledging, and this is what I appreciate, because up to this point, it doesn't seem like many people who are opponents of her, who are competitors with her, are publicly acknowledging that she's been going through it. Like she's been basically, every once in a while, you'll hear a coach or someone mention or something like, yeah, I mean, yeah, she's definitely, definitely brought fans to the games and stuff like that's happening. We appreciate that. You'll hear something like that. But Taurasi didn't talk like from that angle. She talks like a true veteran who actually now, having played against this girl, respects the Rook, right? She didn't say it like, yeah, she brought some attention to the game. She said, no, she's carried a lot. Like in her short WNBA career, this is the GOAT of the WNBA, that they would call the GOAT. She's carried a lot. She's gone through a lot, and she's handled it well, right? And then she said, as a veteran, seeing that about the Rook, I'm encouraged by that. Like her future is bright. Like this is a woman who's given her life and 20 years of her life to the WNBA, considered the GOAT. For her to say, as a veteran, I'm excited for her. Like I'm glad that the game is in good hands, right? She's like, she's going to be great, is what she's saying. I thought that this is what and again, what do I know, right? All of us that do these videos, we don't know what we're talking about most of the times. We don't know these people. We're speculating at best. We're trying to be as honest as we can. Listen, I'm not, even though who doesn't want their channel to go up, right? Everyone wants to be recognized for what they do. But I understand that we're all limited. Unless you know the people, talk to the people, we're all making assessments based on what we see and what we're hearing people say, right? So we don't know for sure. But here's what I think. I said this in my previous video. I want to say it again. I think Diana Taurasi's comments a couple months ago put a bullseye on Caitlin Clark's back. I think they put a bullseye on her back because of who Taurasi is. I think she was kind of, because so many people thought she was hating, that I think she almost basically said, yeah, reality's coming. Reality's coming. And what she said was true. That's true. There are a lot of rookies that have to LeBron James had to leave Cleveland to go to Miami to get his first championship. It's wild out here in these streets, right? So I get that, but because of the way it came off at the time, there was such praise for her. It was the first time someone said something seemingly negative about Caitlin Clark. I think Taurasi put a bullseye on her back because that's Diana Taurasi saying this. This is the GOAT of the WNBA, right? One of the most, if not the most current respected player. And she said, reality's coming. And that's true. But here's the thing that she said that sounded like she was hating. She said, you may look amazing, paraphrasing, and from the playing against 18-year-olds, but that's basically, she made it sound like you ain't gonna look amazing playing against us. Now, granted, she doesn't look as amazing, but let's not play around though. That she's like the fastest rookie to get some awards, and it's crazy for all the attention she's getting to be able to do that. But I thought Taurasi's comments here, I could be wrong, right? Probably am wrong. But this is what I think. You got a couple things happening. You got the WNBA All-Star Game coming up, of which Caitlin Clark is like the number 2 most voted after Asia from the Aces, unless that's changed. It was Asia, Clark, and then I think it was AB. I think her player, right? I think they were the 1, 2, and 3. You got that coming up, and then they're going to get a couple of weeks off for the Olympics, right? They're going to take a few weeks off and then pick up so the women's Olympic team can compete for the gold. Taurasi's comments right here, after losing, and this is what I respect. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it didn't seem like she was complaining. She wasn't saying the refs took the game from her. She took it to the chin. This is what we say on the street. She took it to the chin. She ate humble pie. She was humbled because she was exalting herself and others. She took it to the chin and she gave props. And the language she said at the end of that, coming from Diana Taurasi, I think just took the bullseye off of Caitlin Clark's back. Now, there are going to be people who have personal beefs with her. Angel Reese doesn't like her. Kennedy, they're going to be Dejanay Carter, I think, from Connecticut, doesn't like her. So there are going to be people that don't like her. But I think Taurasi's comments at that press conference we just saw, I think they're going to have the opposite effect because she's basically, it's almost like, and again, we don't know. I mean, people are their own people, right? But it's almost like Taurasi put the bullseye on her, like, no, she's going to get humbled here. And I think she just took it off like, all right, she's accepted. I embrace her now. I embrace her. I think you're gonna still see people not want to get the lights out. But watch, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I think defenses are going to switch now. I think it's not going to be, we're pressed to stop her. I think Taurasi took the bullseye off of her back. And then in the WNBA All-Star game, they're going to embrace each other because you're playing against people that you normally play against. They're going to embrace her. They're going to realize this is actually a cool girl. She probably told Taurasi during the game, man, you were my idol growing up. You were one of my idols, you and Maya Moore. Like, I'm in this league because of you. Thank you. Because there was a point where you saw them kind of talking and laughing during the game. And Caitlin Clark has always, even before the game, saying like, man, Taurasi is like one of my heroes, like one of the people. I bet you she said that. And she was like, you know what? This girl is not. And this is the thing. This is why I hate the whole race conversation. And I hate the whole, like, Caitlin Clark has never said anything derogatory or negative in a racial way. And she's never, to our knowledge, boasted about being the reason why all this success is happening in the W. Even though most people are saying, they're saying that. You know, everyone watching, LeBron James, everyone watching is calling it the Caitlin Clark effect. It's just a reality. And some players, when they're humble enough, they're like, yeah, no, honestly, we haven't played this many fans in years. And they show up to watch her play. I think Taurasi's comments here, I think, are going to take the bullseye off of her back. I think she got accepted. Some people are calling it the passing of the torch. I don't know about that part. I don't know about that. But I do think there is a degree in which her comments will let people be like, all right, Taurasi's banging with her now. And then the WNBA All-Star game, I think she's on the East, Indiana's East, Taurasi's West. But I think you're going to get, if she's on the East, she's going to be playing with like Brianna Stewie. You're going to be playing with Sabrina. You're going to be playing with some of these players that are at your neck. I mean, even Connecticut, that's East. She's going to be playing with Dejanay Carr. All these people, I think it's going to change. And I think it's going to be good for the league. Because I think what will justify... Let me tell you something. And this, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Making it a race issue, because Asia Wilson was the first one to say that. She was the first one that I heard publicly say that. And then Dejanay Carter had a tweet. You know what I think has happened? The race issue has become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because so many people right now are so tired of hearing that once you say that, then it's going to make people who don't even care about her or the situation defiantly like her just because she's white. I think it's become more of a self-fulfilling prophecy than it was. I don't think most people in that Angel Reese joint, I don't think most people saw that as black versus white. I think maybe they thought Angel Reese was being aggressive unnecessarily, because let's just be honest, right? I'm all for taunting. Guys do it a lot, right? But like, if you remember that game, like Angel Reese was taunting her like a lot, like Slim. Okay, we got it. You won the game. Y'all winning. After a while, it's like, you ever had somebody tickle you, right? You know when somebody's tickling you and you're laughing and stuff, you're like, stop. But then after a couple seconds of being tickled and you wanted to stop, you don't keep laughing. You start to get offended, like, all right, stop. You might even push them off aggressively, right? Because it's like, all right, man, you're doing too much, All right, I get it. Thank you. It was funny, but like, all right, stop, man, stop. I don't want to. I think that's what Angel Reese did. She was, where I'm from in the DC, I'm from DC, right? We call it being pressed. He was pressed. She kept doing this. It got to the point where it's like, okay, Angel Reese, we get it. You won the game. It's clear that. So I don't think it was about, oh, she's black and Caitlin Clark's white. Because Caitlin Clark did that. What people thought she did it to was Haley Van Lith. That's a white girl. It wasn't like she was. I think it was just too much. It was like, hey, we get it, Slim. All right, you're going to win. Like, it's too, you don't got to keep doing that. You're making it seem like you want everybody to know that. So I think that race stuff is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Granted, yeah, we do live in America, and America has that history. Race relations between blacks and white people is going to sell. It's going to. We live in a country. Racism will never go away. You can call it woke if you want. Racism is not going to go away. That the narrative between black and white is not going to go away because it's the narrative that gets the most attention. I promise you, if there were a heavyweight championship fight and the champ was a German and the contender was a Jew, the whole world would watch it. And it's not because you don't even like boxing, but you would watch it because of the history between Jews and Germans. There's a history between black and white people. You can call it whatever you want. Wokeism, you call it whatever you want. There is a history that is going to get people's attention. This is why for a while, it was a lot of videos and footage about white police officers shooting unarmed black men, right? Because those narratives, they called it the leftist agenda, right? Man, it was a capitalistic agenda, if anything. It was what's going to sell. Because here's the thing, they were taking videos from TikTok and the new, like, Liberty Media, mainstream media they weren't like had cameras set up and watch these things happen. They were taking camera phone footage on people's personal accounts and showing these things because it was like, oh, this is what people are going to care about. White on white crime, people don't care about. Black on black crime, people don't care about. Jew on Jew crime, people don't care about. Jew versus German, people going to pay attention to, right? Black versus white, people going to pay attention to. They just don't, it's just a reality. I think that narrative has become a self-fulfilling prophecy where most people, I don't think we're thinking like that. I think they weren't. So I appreciate that this buildup has been the GOAT versus the Rook. And it was the Rook won, got the best of her. And her comments at the end, I think, are going to change some stuff. Let's watch a little bit more of this one video. I want to show you, because I said why I think she's getting so many assists. I think that teams are scared of her. I want to prove this, right? So let's watch this video, a little bit more of this, all right? Oh, this is the wrong video. The wrong video. So now I have to put the right video up. Let's go and get the right video up, because I thought, oh, okay, let me see. Where we at? Can I find it? Okay, this might be it right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Let me see. Yeah. Let's get to this. Look at this right here. Watch this right here. All right, he's going to narrate, but I want you to see this. All right, look at this. Let's watch this.
Film. Just see some of the plays and how they worked out. All right, so this won't be a full-out film session, but let's just take a look at some of the clips from the game here and see how they play it out and what worked well.
All right, so she gets the rebound. Look at this. She's going up. Look at the players.
All right, freeze. So you're going to see this a lot. Caitlin Clark bringing the ball up on the right side. Same thing that we saw at the end of last game when she passed ahead to Christy Wallace. She's already off screen in the corner. And we see already Caitlin Clark has defensive attention far before she even reaches half court. Let's go on. All right. So we see Natasha Cloud was lost in the sauce, right? Caitlin Clark, she dribbles the ball past half court. She doesn't pass ahead. I talked about how that makes her a threat and how that draws defensive attention and opens up easier passes than even a pass ahead. Now, already we see Erica Wheeler on the other side. If she was an actual threat from out there, if that was a player who could shoot, Caitlin Clark can just whip it over there for an easy three. Because Natasha Cloud is already in the wrong spot with her attention on Caitlin Clark. All right, so we saw as soon as Leah Boston crossed half court, she targets Caitlin Clark's player, her defender, with the screen. We talked about that also earlier in the season. Not waiting until she gets down by the three-point line because Brittany Griner's in drop. She doesn't want to help. If you wait till she gets down there, now Brittany Griner can help and still be down where she wants to be. But she doesn't want to come out to deep waters. Here.
All right, that was the wrong part of the video. He's talking too long for me. All right, hold on.
Christy Wallace already off screen, going into the corner. Let's take a look. All right, so we see the same exact thing here as soon as she crosses half court. Defensive attention on her. Kai Copper has eyes on her. I'm not sure who this blur is right now while it's paused. She's already stepping up before she even crosses half court. Now, she's supposed to tag Leah Boston right here because Diana Taurasi already has corner commitment. Obviously, Brittany Griner isn't going to catch up. Rebecca Allen, she also should have tagged Aaliyah Boston, but she's focused on Caitlin Clark and Nalissa Smith. So let's see what happens here. I mean, they both have eyes on the ball and literally just watch Aaliyah Boston run right past.
That's exactly my point. Is they're so aware of where she is that they don't even pay attention to their defensive assignments. That's why she's getting so many assists, because when she has the ball, because listen, no one wants to be embarrassed. No one wants Caitlin Clark to drop 40 on them. Because listen, Caitlin Clark says she doesn't listen to what's happening in the media, but all these other players do. So great game. Good for the Indiana Fever. Good for Caitlin Clark. But more so, I hope that Taurasi's comments Settle some women down. Just play ball. Just play ball. Play ball. Yeah, if you're going to D her up. But it's like, I wish they would stop acting like the race stuff is her narrative. Like she's going around boasting about, well, you better, I'm the one that's selling shit. I don't think she's doing it. And if she is, then we don't know it yet. I think I think that race stuff is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because as soon as someone's black and white and you say it, yep, that's the lens in which we see things through. And I just think it's a problem. So good for them. Tomorrow night, they got to play, I think, the Aces, Las Vegas. I think that's going to be a tough one. It'd be interesting to see them play after having won this game because they didn't expect to win. If you see Christy Sides in the pregame, she was not expecting to win. So again, I think Jesus came through and he did it for Caitlin Clark, and mainly because I think Diana Taurasi has exalted herself and she was humble. And I think that's what happens. So I thought it was great. The GOAT versus the Rook. Good game. I still want to see Caitlin Clark get a better shooting percentage. I'd love to see her shoot more threes, but I appreciate that she took some threes and took it right to the chin. All right, let's go to the tape. Well, a lot of comments here. We getting it in right now. Let's go to the tape. Interesting title, LOL. I think I'm not sure what title you're talking about, but it might be this one. Okay, cool. Yeah, it is. I love that Caitlin Clark got a triple-double and leading his squad to beat. Yeah. It was almost a triple-double, but it wasn't. My dude, Jose, Supernatural's a blessing. Oh, you talking about the storyline, Supernatural storyline in the Bible? Thank you, brother. Yeah, that thing changed my church, man. It changed me. So I appreciate that, famo. Thank you. Zombie, yo! I said, hey, yo! Richard, that comment by Taurasi didn't age well yesterday. It didn't age well at all. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I think it did. Let me say why, Rich. Because I think let me tell you what I think happened when Taurasi said that. There was such high praise for Caitlin Clark because she was just like a phenom. I mean, she beat at that. I think when that comment happened, they were playing UConn. So she had her road to the Final Four was tough. She had to beat LSU, right? To get there, I think. She beat the team that beat her in the championship game the former year, right? Then she's playing Connecticut, and they either won or are about to win the game. I think it was after the game. I think it was after the game and they had won, and then they got to play. So the year before, she played South Carolina, beat them, and then get to the Final Four, right? And when Donna Taurasi said that, everyone was just blown away at how amazing she was. I think she had just dropped like 41 points or something. So when she said it, it sounded like it was hating, but in reality, the only comment that I think was a little bit like hating was when she said, you look amazing playing against 18-year-olds. But then she said, no, but it's going to translate. She's great. Greatness translates, but it's going to be a transition. So I feel what you're saying. I think the interpretation of her comment didn't age well. But when you actually go back and listen to what Taurasi said, I detect no lies. But I see why you're saying it, though. I think in hindsight, CC, yeah, 100%, bro, 100%. I think, you know what? I think she needed to. I think if that migraine would have affected her ability to play, and maybe they knew she had a migraine, I don't know. But like that, her earning Taurasi's respect, I think took the bullseye off of her back. Don't get me wrong, teams still want to beat her. And Angel Reese I think Angel Reese has created a dislike in the narrative that I don't think that everyone has. And I think Dejanay Carter feels that way. But Dejanay Carter, they said, is dating Nalissa Smith. And Nalissa Smith was really frustrated at Christy Sides earlier in the season when Timmy Fagbenle was starting and Nalissa Smith was not playing that much. And she was liking tweets. They were going at Christy Sides. She was doing wild stuff. Then when Fagbenle got injured and then Nalissa Smith started scoring a lot, then it was all smiles and all love. I wouldn't be surprised if Dejanay Carter is reacting to Caitlin Clark and all of that because her apparently lover was not getting playing time and was probably saying things about them. We don't know. That's what people are saying, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm glad she earned her respect because I think it was good for her to do that. CC actually had to play through migraines quite a bit back in college. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Nobody but Zach. Bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Listen, I leave Thursday for California. I'm going back to Cali. Cali. I'm going back to Cali. Yeah, I think so. We leaving Thursday, July 4th. We land in San Francisco at 2:30. We're going to try to post up near the Golden Gate Bridge and watch the fireworks. I'm looking forward to it. So every dollar counts because California is steep out here. All right, I think Caitlin led the NCAA scoring. It was number 2 in assists. That's crazy. Who else is that? I'm telling you, man. That's why I don't understand. This is what I don't get. I don't understand people saying we didn't hear about Caitlin Clark until Angel Reese did that. I don't understand why people are saying that. What are you talking about? You didn't hear about Caitlin Clark. She was dropping buckets. She was a bucket. Like I just don't understand that. But another smart, articulate perspective. Thank you, man. Thank you, Philip. I try to give it. I don't intentionally do this, but I do watch what other people say, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that. But everyone's just giving their own perspective. I appreciate that, man. I'm trying to give y'all stuff a different angle, even going through the comments like this. I don't know anyone else who does this. It takes a long time. You guys add like 45 minutes to my streams just because I'm answering these questions. But it's fun to do this. I like interacting with you guys. It's fun. CC is one of one, a very special. I think so. CC broke record in 123 games, and the woman record was 139. Right, 123 games. And keep in mind, Electric Cub saying, keep in mind, she doesn't have like crazy games where she's dropping 35 a game. They're D'ing her up. They're doing this. Christy Sides is subbing at wrong times. Some people are saying Christy Sides took her out so that she couldn't get that triple-double the first time. I don't know about that stuff. I think Christy Sides is learning. It's interesting because she's a rook. I think she's a rook coach, even though she coached the year before. I think she's a rook head coach, and I don't think, like I said in my last stream, you got to know what you're doing to coach a generational talent. Everyone can't do that. And that taunting while you up is weak. 100%. And that's what I'm getting at, Caleb, because I didn't see that at the beginning of the game. I remember that game because Angel Reese is from Baltimore. Now, I'm from the D.C. side. D.C. and Baltimore are totally different cities, even though they're 45 minutes apart. Totally different cities. Like D.C. and Baltimore have their own culture, own vibe. So I'm not like I don't root cheer for nothing related to Baltimore. But I respect, Angel Reese played for University of Maryland. University of Maryland is less than a mile away from my church. Like, we do ministry at University of Maryland. So I respect that. I listen to what she does. I respect that. I give props to the hometown or the home state because she's not, Baltimore's different. But I think she wasn't doing that when they didn't know if they were going to win. She didn't, and then the taunting was like, okay, you won. We got it. We get it. You kept doing it. That's why people called her a bully. It wasn't because she's a black woman doing it to a white woman. It was because you did it for like 10, 15 minutes when it was good. You got it. You never saw Caitlin Clark kept doing this all the time. No, she did it like once in a game. It wasn't even talking to. So anyway, I just think, man, that black-white narrative, man, it's going to get ratings. And so keep the party up. Angel Reese can learn how you do post-game interview regarding Caitlin Clark from Taurasi. 100%. It's like, I think Angel Reese is vicious. I love her tenacity. I like her game. I like her. But I think what I'm disappointed in is that, like, this comment, I think, says it. Like, just give the girl her props. Like, you're trying to be like, no, people are watching because of me too. Y'all need to understand that. You can't make people like you, fam. Like, you can't, listen, I'm a pastor, but I rap. I almost had a record deal. I'm glad this is, I almost had a record deal with Bad Boy. I almost had a record deal with Bad Boy Records back in 1997. I sat in a congressman's office on Connecticut Avenue in D.C., and beside me was the photographer who did two of Michael Jackson's album covers. I had an A&R from MCA Record, Uptown MCA, the writer for the Washington Post, the A&R, the entertainment lawyer who worked with Bad Boy and Def Jam, and they were telling me, we think you're going to be amazing and be famous, right? And I had to do, I was a street dude there. So I had to do like this photo shoot, and then we got into all this street drama and all of that went away. And I'm glad to the Lord, because it's possible that I could have signed with Bad Boy and I might have been the one that did these free calls, and that would have been a bad look, right? But I'm saying that to say, listen, I rap, I do music, I still do music. I'm a pastor by day, but I got bars at night, right? Kirk Kennedy, go on any streaming service to find my music, right? I'm a good rapper, but there are other people that they were the ones that people more were drawn to. I don't think if she just said, look, I could be like, hey, listen, You know, like I'm more John Blaze and I'm a better rapper than that. I'm all right. Why aren't everybody, go get this album right here. Go get this album. Go get this album right here. Everybody go get this album. I'm warning you, do not listen to this album. Go pick this up. Kirk Kennedy. Man, I could do that, but it's like, nah, it is what it is. Some people are just chosen. If Angel Reese was like, nah, she's vicious. Like I'm great. I'm glad for her. Well, we balling out here too. I think it would be different. Great notes, sir. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you. Yeah, the hit was out. 100%, bro. 100%. 100%, bro. She said, bring CC. I think so, man. I think that, man. I think when she said, these 18-year-old, you're not, I just think it put the bullseye on her back. That's the GOAT saying she's going to have a rude awakening. So everyone wants to make sure she has a rude awakening. I think her comments after the game, I think it took the bullseye off. Doesn't mean people are going not, but they took the bullseye off. They face guarding her at 94 feet. Consistently, right? Now, some people do it to other players, but consistently, 94 feet. She was paid to lose. Did you watch the game? I did watch the game. I 100% watched the game. I don't know where, I need more. If that's your perspective, then that's a dangerous thing to say because now you're judging. You're basically saying that these girls did something evil, and I'd love to know your credibility because paid to lose the game. That's interesting. That's a lot right there. That's a character assassination. You might not mean that, but I would put some evidence in here. Give me a link or something, or some evidence of that because that's a bold statement to say that. No, she wasn't. Ella, don't make excuses. Right. Yeah, I just don't know about that. That's what I said. Show me something. There is a term in professional wrestling, getting the rub. Caitlin Clark, 100%. That's 100%. Hi, I was fortunate to meet Cece while visiting my cousin in Phoenix. She's a wonderful person, a human being. Got my season. That's great, bro. I just, I think she carries her. If that were my daughter, I would be pleased with how she carries herself. She carries herself pretty well. If that were my daughter, I'd be good with it. They lost because they were so focused on stopping CC and they cost themselves their best offender playing D on her center. 100. And I think, you know what, bro? I think the coach didn't say it directly like that because I would be kind of like, but I think their coach said something similar. He said something. They were too focused on her. And I think because Taurasi, they got to beat them, they weren't playing the way they should play. They even said they took us out of our element. No, they didn't. What happened was there was this pressure to beat her because of what Taurasi said. And so I think the Lord let it happen the way it is. I believe it's true. Thank you, Chris. I'm not sure what you believe is true, but thank you, bro. I didn't know about Clark until the Reese thing. It wasn't definitely a white-black thing because that was what all I was saying on Twitter. Yeah, some people say that, but that doesn't mean that others didn't know about Clark. Like, that was the championship game, fam. She was killing people the whole tournament. So I found out about her earlier in the tournament. Well, I'd heard about her, but I just wasn't into watching, to my shame on some level, I wasn't into watching. Well, first of all, I only like college basketball during the NCAA tournament. I'm primarily an NFL guy. I'm a Washington Commanders. I got season tickets to the Commanders. So I've had that for 15 years. So no, actually 20 years because it's 19 years. Since 2005, I've been a Washington Commanders season ticket holder. So, and I play, I do fantasy football. So I'm into the NFL. So I only really I watched NFL. And then when the NFL season's done, I go to college. That's right when the tournaments are happening, Big Ten, ACC tournament, right before the big dance, the NCAA tournament. I watch that, and then I go to the NBA playoffs, and then when the playoffs are done, then I have to chill for 2 months until preseason football starts. That's kind of my world. So I didn't watch a lot of it, but I started hearing about it. I said, let me watch some. There was a game on. I saw some highlights, and I said, hold on. So I knew about it well before Angel Reese did, or the Angel Reese incident. Philip, I saw a post speculating the W doesn't want CC, so they brought out Paige last week as the face. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they can't decide who the face is. The people decide that. And that's something to learn over time. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm not hip, but I'll find out, I'm sure. And that broadcaster and the money man stepped in the management. Play Bubba's gone. Yeah, well said, bro. There's an echo. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know there's an echo. There's an echo on my end. I don't know why this would be echoing. I don't know why. Echo, brother. Thank you. I don't know why. Echo. I don't know why. Is it still an echo? I don't know what would have changed because I'm just doing the same thing. They got through the W and hence DT. Yep, 100%. A few days earlier, Side said she had to shoot 15 shots per game. She probably wouldn't have taken a chance because she will pass the teammates if she thinks they can make the play easier. You know what? Think about this for a second. And I could be wrong because we don't know. Like I said a few minutes ago, we just don't know. But if you're Caitlin Clark, right? I don't know, and maybe she's just a jerk in this way, and I don't think she is. But just humor me for a second. If you're Caitlin Clark, you may not be listening. You're told, hey, don't go on social media, right? But it doesn't mean her boyfriend's not on social media or her teammates or her brother or her parents. It's not like she's not hearing anything anyone's saying. Let's not be stupid. We live in the information age, IT, information technology. It is impossible. So she's hearing negative comments. She doesn't want to be disliked. She's not even saying or doing anything to be disliked. So if her own teammates are upset because they're not getting the press she is, then of course she's going to try to appease them. Thank God that she has an ability to pass good enough to get them points. It could be a fear of man issue. Very few people want to be disliked. Very few. So I just think that's really, really something else. Well said, Kurt. Thank you, bro. I'm not sure what I said. Girl is gassed in legs, hands. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know about Clark Reese until it was definitely a black white thing. Okay, yeah. Heard that. I don't know if I agree with that black and white thing. Real rap, I believe CC got me actually looking forward to watching a WNBA game. No lie. Yeah, 100%. I've watched every game she has. Have a safe trip. Thank you, Famo. Looking forward to being out on the Cali side. Yep, Cooper scored 7 versus 24 point per game average. Gassed out. Yeah, she's averaging 22.7 points a game. And she had 7? Whew. Wow. Subbed and shared. My brother, thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you, famo. My dude, keep it 100. The double-double machine, Angel is breaking 100%. Angel Reese she's balling. She is but you know what, though? Yes, she is. But I think she got 10 points and 10 rebounds the last game. That is a double-double, and that's a feat in and of itself. But, let's be clear. For us, I think I don't know what your scoring threshold is, right? I don't know what your scoring threshold is. I think anything below 15 points seems so it's a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds. But it wasn't like she got 20 and 10 or 15 and 10. And I could just be wrong. I think many people, that 15 number is sort of we think that's a decent game. Anything lower than 15 is 12 points. So yeah, it ain't no keep it 100 I'm not. I just think I'm not talking about the WNBA as a whole. I mention them. I'm talking about Caitlin Clark because she's the talk of the town. She's the talk of the city. She's the talk of the world right now. So, but I like Angel Reese. I think Angel Reese is a baller, 100%. I think she's a baller, but I just don't think she has she's not the chosen one. It doesn't matter, fam. It doesn't matter. Ain't none of them better than Asia Wilson. Brianna Stillington is balling, but the talk is Caitlin Clark. She's just the talk. That's who everyone. No one's going to. And I could be wrong. Because I'm wrong about a lot of things. I could be wrong. I haven't heard that people are coming to watch Angel Reese play, she's packing to watch her play, and they're cheering for her in games. I haven't heard that, but I've seen it every game against Indiana when they play away. I've seen it. It's incredible. No echo now. It was happening during the second video. Oh, okay. I don't know what that was. All right. Once CC. Oh, you know what? I probably didn't mute it because sometimes this mute button gets stuck and I start talking and then I see hey, no. And I'm like, oh man. So I think I didn't mute it, and that's why it was getting feedback from the thing. Once CC teammates start making their shots consistently, teams are going to ease the defensive. Yeah. Well, I think they're going to start because she's just dropping double-double. She's averaging a double-double too. My man just said Angel Reese, well, so was Caitlin Clark. But they're points and double and assists, not rebounds. But she had 9 rebounds. Why is she even getting rebounds? She's not that big, but that's a lot, man. She almost had her first triple-double. That'd have been crazy. Leave these kids alone. The media keep throwing Carl in her face. Yeah, I think so. Caitlin Clark like that. Yep, it ain't just the style, but the style is a big reason for the draw. Just all of it. Yeah, 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. Like LeBron, I think LeBron and Kobe got more press coming out of high school than some players coming out of D1 college, man. I think it was just some people are the chosen. There's a lot of people, like think about this for a second. If you're an NBA person, think about this for a second. Let's say you're Robert Horry, right? You're Robert Horry. If you're Robert Horry, there's a lot of people who vaguely remember who he is. If you know who he is, sure. But I bet you 20 years from now, the majority of people will not know who Robert Horry is, right? You know, Robert Horry has 5 NBA championships. He has 2 with Houston and 3, I think, with the Spurs, San Antonio. Something like that. He has 5 NBA championships. Do you know Patrick Ewing never got one? Karl Malone never got one. John Stockton never got one. Charles Barkley never got one. You know, there are people that never got one. Never. Paul George is a beast. He hasn't gotten one yet. You know, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and them got one. You got Dirk Nowitzki with the Mavs got one in 2012. Like, this dude got 5 NBA championships. Some people just, it's not always about who's better or who, it's sort of right place, right time, and some people are the chosen ones. It's a rare occasion where Jordan was clearly pound for pound a better player. I just saw recently a story about this player who was better than LeBron James in high school. He was better than him. They played head-to-head in high school. He beat him. They said he was better than LeBron James. None of us have ever heard of him. It just happens. This is the way it is. I think people should stop making it a race issue. She just chose him. It is what it is. It is what it is. Oz is cold, but she's not as exciting to watch. It is what I agree. I agree. Big shot Rob, 100%. 100%. Clutch. People trying to say all that taxis and stuff, but none of them was watching Kellen before. I used to watch when the Lynx was dominant, 100%. Oh, you're right. Or he got 7. Hold up, you're right. He does have 7. I remember, that's right. Because I remember Jordan got 6, and I remember thinking like, Ori has 1 more than Jordan. That's crazy. PG-13 could potentially finally get that chip. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. He's with the Sixers, and oh man, why am I drawing a blank right now? The Splash Brother, Klay Thompson, is with the Mavs? Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sure they got a mesh, but you got Luka, you got Kyrie, and now him? That's another person that, and they went to the championship this past year. They lost, 4 games to 1. But that's a whole different video, man. That's a whole different video. All right, man, I'm getting out of here. I appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much, man. Love chatting with y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow's video. I got a crazy video tomorrow. This isn't about Caitlin Clark. It's on something else. And I think the title of the video is, will Christian nationalists, anti-wokers, anti-white supremacists, professing Christians, will they go to hell? There's something that Jesus said that should make us all stop and think. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. See you then. Grace and peace.